What is this?
What do you mean, what is this? I'm a custom wood burner. I'm custom wood burning. You clicked on custom wood burning. Did you think I'd be sitting here farting around? No, I'm custom wood burning.
My bad. Oh, shoot. My bad. Hey.
My bad. Yeah, kind of your bad, because what were you expecting? Were you expecting a nonverbal 4-year-old boy who's obsessed with trains or something? Because, yeah, like a lot of times when people say, oh, but you don't seem autistic. That's like one side of it, but this is the other side of then someone doing something that is very typical for autistic people, like stimming, and then they're just like, wait, but why are you doing that? That's just weird. Whatever you do, neurotypicals aren't going to be happy with it. So screw that, and literally just do you, I guess. Hello, baby queers, and welcome back to my channel. We're doing some Neurodivergent TikToks again, because I love making TikTok videos, because I feel like it's chill. So either way, that's what we're doing today. You know the deal though, if you're not hydrated yet, then go grab something to drink, some water, or some tea, or whatever else you like to drink, and then we'll check out some more TikToks. Are you hydrated? Good. Let's go.
I've got to leave this room, man. The electricity is too loud. Your extension cord.
Wait, what?
Can you not hear the electricity?
No, what does it sound like?
It's like buzzing.
What are you doing with your hand?
Well, it's just like pulsing.
Is that an autistic thing?
I mean, I think so.
Babe, can you hear it?
Hear what?
Electricity?
No.
It's also because you're old.
Can you Google it?
Google what?
If autistic people can hear electricity.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Are you Googling it?
Sorry. I
No,
just went on.
Google it,
Yeah,
please.
sorry. I went on Insta. Hearing electricity autism, is it normal? Phenomenon of hearing electricity autism can be attributed to heightened sensory perception. Loads of articles. Cure.
That's mad. How do you like go into Tesco's where there's loads of electricity and fridges and stuff?
I don't.
I don't. Because, yeah, people constantly think you're crazy if you tell them. Because they're like, what do you mean? You can't hear that. It's like, I literally can. Though, like, extension cords, I like the extension cords with switches. Because even if you just, like, have a charger cable attached to it, and it's not charging anything, it's still sometimes making noises depending on the cable. So if you have an extension cord, you could just like flip off and not have to sleep anywhere in a room near the fridge. Then you might be fine. But sometimes just being like, I can't be in this room, I can hear the electricity too much, is also entirely fair. And yeah, it does seem weird to people if they can't relate. I get that, but yeah.
Put a finger down, neurotypical version. Put a finger down if you can enter a supermarket without a list and not get overwhelmed. Put a finger down if you can start making small talk and keep it going for longer than 5 minutes. Put a finger down if you wake up every morning without the insistent voices in your head. Put a finger down if you can try new foods, be fine with it and not critique the texture. Put a finger down if you can take an interest in something without losing time, nourishment and sleep. Put a finger down if you change plans last minute and then carry on with your day like nothing's changed. Put a finger down if you don't mind people unexpectedly turning up at your front door. Put a finger down if you can focus on someone talking without zoning out or daydreaming. Put a finger down if you can sit still for 10 minutes without fidgeting. Lastly, put a finger down if you can give easy eye contact without having to analyse if you're doing it right.
Well, I am very neurotypical, obviously. Anyways, like some of these, like the first part, I know it was on purpose. Like the first part, I was like, well, I can go into a supermarket without a list, but I will definitely get overwhelmed and mad and just so overwhelmed, like sensory-wise alone, that I will forget something and then be super mad that I have to go back a few days later to get the thing I forgot. You know? And same with like the other things, like eye contact. no. Because I recognize that I don't make eye contact at all. Because I was like, no, I make eye contact. Like, of course I do. But I just look like in the general direction of people's faces. And what really helps is I technically need glasses, so kind of unzoning my eyes really, like unfocusing my eyes is really easy. So I'm just like kind of looking in people's directions, but I'm not actually looking at them. Which obviously counts as eye contact, right? Anyways. And honestly, just like, who sits still? And like about the changing plans, because I was about to put a finger down for that, because if I change my own plans, it's somehow kind of okay. Like if other people change plans, I'm just so irritated with it. But if I change my own plans, I'll still not go about my day like I normally would. Although kind of, because I do like overthinking things in general, whether I'm doing something, like whether it's the right approach I'm taking. It's like, wait, man, but maybe I really should be doing something else instead. Like, is it really like the smartest or the best solution to do this first? And like, should I really be doing something else? And in that way, kind of, because yeah, if I change it last minute and then do something else entirely, I will still be overthinking if I made the right choice. So it's kind of the same, but it's kind of different. You know?
So about 5 minutes ago, my wife just said to me that she was going to the gym. And then I walk out here, and she made the fatal mistake that she says she sometimes makes. And she calls it the sit pit, because I think she learned that from somewhere.
I saw it on social media.
She sat down for a second, and then she said...
The ADHD sit pit is when you're like, I had so many things in my head. I was like, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to do this, I'm going to come back, I'm going to make food, I'm going to practice piano, and then I sat down.
And it was all over.
And it's all over.
All destroyed.
It's like an hour and a half.
We had to do what?
I was originally going to go at 3:30. What time is it?
It's 4:42. Honey, you can't let the sit pit take hold of you. Beat the sit pit. Beat the sit pit. We're going to beat it together. Come on. Come on, we're going to beat the sit pit together. Come on, grab my hand.
The sit pit is sat, Jack.
Do you want... Oh, did you see those butter cookies in the fridge?
What?
Come here. I'll show you.
The sit pad is powerful, but it's not as powerful as your favorite cookies, apparently. Which seems fair, because sometimes I'll just be sitting there and I can't move. But then I remember I have my favorite snack in the fridge or something. Or that I have coffee. And that does actually sometimes help. Not always, because sometimes I'll just like add to the voices and be like, no, but you should really get up and like get up to the kitchen, go to the kitchen, get your coffee. Sometimes that just adds to the voices, but sometimes it legitimately works. You know, and you never know which is gonna be. But don't sit down. Don't sit down. Don't do it. If you're doing stuff, don't sit down. Because then the sit pad literally has a hold of you.
Yes, exactly. Not everything is autism. I'm so glad you left this comment. Let's talk about it. This is a typewriter. It is not autism. This is cheese. Important distinction here. Autism is a neuropsychological condition affecting up to 1 in 36 children, according to the CDC in 2020, which is the last year that data was available. And cheese is tasty and delicious milk fat. Not autism. Cute, but not autism. This is not autism. It's laundry soap. This Lego Titanic.
Like a lot of things can present autism. If you have a gigantic plushie collection, it's not technically autism. But if you do have like a giant plushie collection, especially if you have them sorted in a certain way, if it's not just like a pile, if it's like sorted, it's not autism, but you know, but literally, why? This is what surprises me, because generally, if you keep engaging with content about autism, you'll get more of that content. because, well, algorithm. And sometimes if you don't know you're autistic yet, you will still get that content because the algorithm just kind of knows. So you're really not doing yourself a favor if you're that annoyed that people keep talking about autism and pointing things out that autistic people like doing, because guess what? Autistic humans are still humans. So a lot of things that autistic humans do are things that all humans do to an extent, but just the reason they do it and the intensity at which they do it is kind of relevant here. But also, if you're just annoyed at people talking about autism, don't engage with the content. You know, that should just make sense, I guess.
I'm autistic and I have low support needs, and low support needs does not mean no support needs. I do have a lot of support needs. It's just low comparatively to the autism spectrum as a whole. And I know that sometimes understanding low support needs can be hard from like an outside perspective looking in. And the best way that I would describe my low support needs is being stuck at like a teenager state. And what I mean by that is that teenagers have the majority of their independence, but yet they still rely on their parents to do things behind the scenes, you know? And when I became a teenager and took on those teenage responsibilities, that was kind of like my cap. That was the most that I could handle. And now as an adult, I can't transition into adult responsibilities. So I will forever be stuck at like the teenager state. And what's frustrating about this is that from an outside perspective, people don't see that I struggle because I do have the majority of my independence. They see that I can hold a job, drive a car, and socialize, but what they can't see is that I need a lot of help within my own house. There are things like scheduling and calling doctors and paying bills that I will always need help doing because I have a limit of how much adulting I can do. My brain is unable to juggle all of the things that come with adulting, but I can juggle most of them. And so people see my success, but they don't see what's happening behind the scenes and the help and support that I'm getting to do those things.
Or the shame that comes with just not doing those things. Because the only doctor I'm going to is if I need my new prescription for hormones. Because, well, I need hormones and that I can do because I don't really even have to schedule. I can just go there and be like, hey, I need my new hormones, and they'll give me the thing for the drugstore and I go pick it up, you know. But generally, that's kind of why. I haven't been to a dentist in 5 or 6 years at least, because, well, I'm an adult and my mom doesn't beat my ass, figuratively speaking, to make an appointment, or just makes it for me because she's making one for herself, you know? And generally, that. Insurances, stuff like that, because from the outside people just like look in and think, oh yeah, no, yeah, you're just too lazy to take care of it, like you just don't want to deal with insurances because, well, no one likes dealing with it. Sure, but there's kind of a fundamental difference. But then you just keep being told that you're just too lazy to do it, so there's just the shame around it as well. So yeah, low support needs doesn't mean no support needs, and people like being judgy. And honestly, this way of describing it with like the teenager state just seems way too accurate for me somehow.
Queer/neurodivergent dilemma of wanting to dress in a cool, weird, self-representing way, and also not wanting to be perceived by the general public. The two don't really go hand in hand. It's rough out here. Also, check out my new Crocs.
I have never understood Crocs. Because normal Crocs, really ugly. They seem very uncomfortable and they'll just like make your feet sweat. Like that's what they look like. This model itself looks pretty cool. Not gonna lie. They're the first Crocs I ever looked at and was like, huh, they actually look pretty good. So there's that. And also just generally, yes. And sensory needs also kind of play a big role, because there are clothes I look at and I'm just like, oh my god, I'm so excited to wear this. I'm gonna wear this so often. But then I put it on, I'm just like, I guess we're not wearing it, or we're just gonna be irritated the whole time. You know, but yeah, generally, because people already stare at me and I'm for the most part, I don't even really recognize anymore because I'm so used to it. Is it because I'm queer? Or is it because I do things that neurotypical things is weird? I can't even tell you. If I'm in a swimming pool, it's definitely because of my top surgery scars. I'll be honest. But apart from that, I really can't tell why people stare. And I don't really care. I just want to dress in a way that I think is cool. But society and my sensory needs say no, really. So I will be wearing hoodies and stuff a lot. Yeah.
Special interests are so weird because it's like, I emotionally regulate by lighting a candle and taking a hot bath. What do you do? I'm making a fan edit of The Last of Us set to the song Brutus. Oh, okay, you gonna post a little fan edit? I'm not gonna post it. Then why? It's just for me. It's just for me to have. Hey, Theo, so we're having a people party. I know, a party where the people get together and party. Do you want to come? Ooh, I would, but Quentin Reviews just posted another Nickelodeon video. Oh, well, that's probably not going to take that long to watch, is it? It's 9 hours. And I wish it was longer. Wow, Theo, as I walk in your room, I see that you have dinosaurs everywhere in every shape and form, but do you know any cool dinosaur facts? No. You don't know anything? You don't know anything about dinosaurs? Nope. But I have to have them. Gotta have them. You can't tell me one fact. This one has a long neck. Anyways, I'm gonna go release some pent-up emotions by sitting in a dark room and maladaptive daydreaming to angry music.
It just got worse because it got so accurate. Because for the longest time, I can't be like, no, I can't be autistic. I don't have special interests. Well, fun fact, I do. And I do like learning things about it, and a lot of the things I can remember. But for the longest time, I would just get so angry if I can't remember, because generally I get angry a lot at the fact that I keep forgetting things. But just, like, I like remembering, like, weird facts about it, but I can't remember everything, and I don't even like want to remember everything, but I will watch literally every video that drops. I will rewatch it at least 3 or 4 times, and then probably a few more times when I'm like feeling like I'm just burned out and don't want to do anything, because I feel like it'll at least cheer me up to some extent. And will literally not want to spend time on anything else, and will not be able to focus on anything else if a new video drops. But no, I don't have special interests, right? Oh my god. The thing with my dad is not that his house actually looks like this, but he is literally obsessed with trains. It is so ironic. If I were to tell him that I think he's autistic, he would lose his shit and just think I'm reading into it because yeah, but he's literally obsessed with trains. And it's hilarious. Like, he's building his own model train thing. He has, ever since I was a child, made sketches for this, like, model train set that he wants to do over and over, because, well, I have 3 siblings. That wasn't, like, too much space for him to do it when we were younger. So he started building it quite late, but there was so many sketches of how he was gonna, like, wire the electricity and everything. I swear to God, it is so funny to me somehow. But anyways, this house, the whole Star Wars room alone would probably, yeah, but it's just funny it's kind of funny when you look at these people from the outside and that's just like autism. No, that can't be that can't be us. Like, sure, people are autistic, but not us. Sure.
Now may I present autistic self-regulation. Hey man, we're actually gonna do that thing tomorrow, not today, sorry. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, are you good? 1 second. Okay, that's cool. Hey, it's gonna be okay. Oh my god. See a man beheaded, get offended, see you shrink. Is this necessary? We can just do it today. I'm sorry. Another change? Hey now, don't take it like that. You have no idea what you've started. Anyways, yeah, I didn't even realize some of my special interests were special interests until I looked at what I use to regulate myself. And now I sing the Victorious soundtrack. Unironically. How the mighty have fallen. Maybe what I am gonna do now is freak the freak out. Whoa. If you scream at me, okay, I'll scream at you. Louder. Louder. Oh, and an update on the kitty situation. If you didn't know, there was a cat that showed up on my porch and wanting to come in, but we found her home. Her name is Pinkie Pie, and she's back with her family and her other kitty siblings, so all is well.
I did not watch the other video where they did find a cat, but I'm glad the cat is back home. Anyways, yeah. The fact that I used to throw myself onto my bed, like face first, and have to like groan into a pillow to self-regulate also hit a bit too late, because I thought that, I don't know what I thought. I kind of thought that was normal, like a normal thing to do when you're like overwhelmed because you have to do one thing. Or like call one doctor. Fun fact, that's probably not something neurotypical people do. But I kind of figured it was normal. And that like everybody does this, or they're better just at like hiding it, you know, that they want to do it, but they don't because they're bad at hiding it. That was my thought process, I guess. So yeah, don't. I mean, like, listen, it's obviously okay if you have to change plans. Like, if you have to cancel something because something important came up for you, or you just really don't have the energy today anymore, so you're just like, oh, can we please, like, do this, like, tomorrow? Like, it's okay. Like, logically, we know it's okay, because, yeah, but still, you just unriveled our entire day plan. Great.
I always thought that I wasn't like an autistic that rocked, because I don't often like do this, but then I realized I'm just a side to side rocker. Like I do this all the time. Just side to side. And then if I'm standing somewhere, this is me. Just side, sometimes like this, sometimes like a little, but I'm not like a forward and back. I'm a side to side. Are you a forward or back or a side to side? I found the new two genders.
The only two categories that matter is, do you prefer this, which is honestly not why I have this chair, by the way, or do you prefer this? Because personally, I'm side to side too. But isn't it more swaying than rocking? Either way, like if I eat something and I'm really enjoying it, I'm literally just sitting there like, yeah. But listen, sometimes the realizations will, like, you know you're autistic, but sometimes the realizations will still hit at random moments. You're just sitting there like, oh wait. Like this one for her, apparently.
Are we ready to talk about compulsive lying and autistic masking? Because I really want to talk about it. I will lie about the stupidest shit that does not matter, because I think it's like a people-pleasing thing. Like, it's something that someone already thinks about me, and so I don't want to tell them that they're wrong, so I, like, tell them that they're right. Because, like, this doesn't happen online, right? Because, you know, I am planning what I'm saying. If I'm in a situation with someone that I don't know, and they ask me something, and I don't know the answer, or they've already have like a preconceived answer, I will just lie. And it's like so awkward because it's usually with strangers. And so it's like, I can't just be like, oh, I'm so sorry, I just lied to you. Like if I'm close to a person, I can tell them like, hey, I have this problem. Sometimes it just comes out. And like, I can't do that with a stranger. Nobody cares. You just have to hope that you never see them again. Like the other day at work, I wear this like little green jewel earring. And she was like, oh, were you born in August? And I was like, no. I kind of looked confused and she was like, oh, that's the August birthstone. And so I didn't want to tell her that it was just like, I like green. I didn't want to tell her she was wrong, I guess. So I was like, oh no, I just have one for every member of my family. I don't have anyone in my family that was born in August. I didn't even know that that was its birthstone before she said this. Why would I say that? Why would I say that? Why the hell would I say that? Don't know, but I can't just go to this old lady and be like, sorry, I've just lied to you. Actually, I just like the color green. Because that's fucking weird. So yeah, anyway. I don't love that. I don't love that about me. I don't. I've gotten a lot better, but sometimes it just comes out too fast and I don't have a chance to think about it, and then I feel really bad.
First of all, I have to point out that I didn't even notice it when I saved this video first. But the fact that this person has their loops on their earrings so they can't lose them, and they can just like easily take them out if they need to, because otherwise they can't understand the person talking to them, and then put them back in. That is brilliant. That is just brilliant, because I've worn my loops at work, but then I have to answer a phone, and then it's just annoying because I have to take them out and like put them somewhere and then hope they don't get dirty or fall off the table. Why is that so brilliant? But anyways, I don't even have a lot to say to the rest of this video because I kind of do the same. Because I find dealing with people very exhausting. And then I will try, because apparently people like to argue. And I find it exhausting. Because I find talking with people exhausting a lot of the time. So I will just kind of like agree to get out of it, even if I don't agree a lot of the times. And yeah, I don't love it. I've been trying to work on it. Have I gotten better? I think so. I'm honestly not too sure.
Hey, can you put this in the wash for me? Yeah, put it in the wash for me, please. In the wash? Do you mean in the dishwasher? You don't have to be smart, you know what I mean. You know I mean the dishwasher. No, I wasn't being smart. Hey, can you pass me the cup, please? The cup? Pass me the cup that's over there, the cup. There's a mug. You know what I mean, can you just pass it to me? Okay, sorry. I was just like kicking it on my bed and kicking it. What were you kicking? What were you kicking and why were you kicking it? No, I was kicking it on my bed. Like I was just laying on my bed, kicking it, hanging out. Ah.
Like when you hear a phrase like kicking it for the first time, that literally would have been my reaction. Because if someone's like, oh yeah, can you pass me the cup over there? I was just like, wait, do you mean this mug? And I was just like, yeah, obviously I mean that mug, like nothing else is there. I was like, yeah, but that's not a cup. Anyways, it just seems fair. Like I will look at people weird a lot, I think, because when they say something like, can you put it in the wash? In my head I'd be like, why would I put it in the wash? But I'm just like, oh wait, they mean the dishwasher, right? And then just do it because I don't want to argue with people. But yeah, people really aren't great at just literally saying what they mean. But like with the first example, for example, I can't remember what sometimes. I will talk in German and in English in the same sentence because I can't remember the German word, so I'm just going to say the English word and like vice versa. And then I will just forget words altogether and just be like the thing, can you give me the thing? Or just like get up and get it myself, you know, even though the other person's standing right next to it, because I forgot the word for it, and then it's just weird for me. You know?
If you've ever actually seen a human woman do this in real life, they might be autistic. Want to hear something wild from my autism diagnosis? Hi, my name is Joey, and I'm a late diagnosed autistic. My diagnosing psychiatrist, kudos to them, basically noticed that I was autistic because I glitched during our interview. Okay, these are the exact words that they wrote in my evaluation. Initially, when the examiner provided an indirect comment about Joey's life in New York and then purposefully paused, Joey missed the cue to add more about that experience. However, after about a second or two, Joey got the cue. She looked toward the examiner as if to check in on the nature of the pause, and then proceeded to build on the comment the examiner made. She seemed to autocorrect after a brief delay. My psychiatrist basically saying that I was live buffering in front of their eyes. When you're a highly masked autistic like me, so much of social interaction is like for an AI language learning model. I've been collecting all this information about human behavior, and when you give me a prompt, the ChatGPT that is my brain is gonna take a second to generate a response. So if you notice a human woman buffering IRL, they might be autistic like me, or they haven't had enough sleep or whatever. But I think people can tell the difference whether someone's just like taking a second or like taking a second. Have you ever been caught glitching in a conversation? Let me know in the comments.
And then you're having a conversation with someone who's just like really impatient. Because honestly, it gets worse for me if the other person's like angry, which is why I don't get people who like to argue, because I either get super busy or I just can't talk at all anymore because the other person's just like, what do you say to that? And it's just like keep adding things to that and just kind of yelling at you, and then you're just like not sure where to go, and the language learning AI just kind of crashes altogether. So yeah, I think it might very well just be very obvious if someone's just like buffering because they're just like really tired, or actually just like taking a second to think of a response. But when this happens to like normal questions as well, it's just like, hey, what did you do last weekend? But in your head, you're just kind of going through all the things, just like, do I just like say, oh, I was just hanging out with friends, something just like normal, or do you say what you were actually doing because you spend the entire Saturday just being an obsessed little gremlin in front of your like laptop or phone screen, engaging with your special interest, and you're just kind of trying to figure that out, and then yeah, you might be buffering for a bit.
For every autistic father, there is a mentally unwell mother, and they'll fall in love and create this mess. I've heard of the genetic lottery. I got genetic inheritance tax. You're seriously going to give me an inability to socialise and manic episode, and then expect me to function in society? Come off it, be serious, brah.
This just because I found it funny. And it just seems fair. But just because I thought it was funny.
I'm ADHD and autistic, and my partner is absolutely adamant that he possesses no amount of neurodivergence. But here are actual sentences that he's said out loud that makes me pretty sure that he is full of premier, cage-free, pasture-raised, absolute bullshit. Number 1, I like when things line up, and I get upset when things don't line up. Strong start, it doesn't get more convincing than that. Oh wait, actually it does. Do you want to watch a really in-depth video about how airports get their names? Insert joke about trains. Can you not rub my arm that way because I don't like when the hairs on my arm aren't laying the correct way? Like, be so fucking for real, my guy. And last but definitely not least, I don't like fruit because you can eat one strawberry and that strawberry has a certain texture and taste, and then you eat another strawberry and that strawberry has a different texture and taste, and so I just don't like fruit. Like, am I being gaslit?
I feel like if it's just like 1 or 2 of these, then you might be able to wave it off. Just like, no, I'm not autistic. I really like trains, or I don't like fruit because I have an issue with textures. Like, if it's just 1 or 2 of these things, I would still kind of maybe be caught off guard, like, you sure about that? But with all of these, and just because that there are probably so many more examples that she could have added about her partner, yeah, I do have to question it as well.
What are you doing? It's too loud, so I'm covering my ears because it's a bit loud for me. It's not even loud. Stop being ridiculous. What are those? What are you doing with those? They're loops. They're like earplugs. I just put them in my ears when things get a bit too loud and it like dulls the volume. They're really good. They're really helpful. But it's not loud in here. I feel like you're just being rude because then you can't hear me. Yeah, it might not be too loud for you, but it's too loud for me. I know. I just think it's rude. What's in your hand? What are you like playing with? Oh, they're just like fidget toys. I keep a few in my bag so that I can fidget with things if I'm getting like kind of antsy or uncomfortable or anxious or, you know, just feel the need to move. So you carry fidget toys around with you in your bag. Are you like 10? I don't think it's really hurting anyone if I have a few in my bag. I've been watching it on Netflix and then there's this wild part in it where it's like, what are you looking at? Can you look at me while I'm talking to you? Sorry, I listen better when I can like turn my eyes off and just like stare at nothing. If I'm looking at you, it's uncomfortable for me and then I'm not listening. I'm too busy focusing on looking at you. I just think you're not listening to me. Can you look at me when I'm talking to you?
I think we could like literally, probably it has been done, kind of create like autism bingo. And just put stuff like, no, but you have to look at me to listen to me, you know, and stuff like that. Or being called childish for doing certain things, or ridiculous, or like you're acting too sensitive, or that you should just like, you know, just focus and it'll be better or something. We could literally play autism bingo at literally whatever, a big family function, or if you have to like go anywhere, really. Because I feel like we probably heard all of these before.
My autistic therapist said something that was so like, yes, like kind of opened my eyes to something I already knew, but I want to share it with you. She called being tired, when an autistic person says they are tired, it's an alarm system. Like when we start to feel we are tired, and like a lot of us have chronic fatigue syndrome, like we're tired all the time, but like when we start to feel like we're telling people we're tired, like we're at the point where it's like almost all we can think, like I'm so tired, that's an alarm. Almost every time where I have been in the place of saying like I'm so tired, I just feel so tired, a meltdown's on its way. Like that's the hint. Have you ever been so tired, but you still push yourself? You're like, but I have something I have to do today. So you get dressed and you go somewhere and you try to push yourself, but you just know you're not feeling up to it. You feel so tired and it doesn't work out. I've tried to do things on those days where I'm so tired and have wound up hiding in a closet instead of talking to a group of people. I'm so tired and I was there to work on a project, and instead of being able to work with the person, I just sit there unable to talk and start crying. In most instances, I start crying. It's like, oh, guess I can't just push myself like other people do when they're tired. Autistic people being tired is like, if you're spoons, like when we're out of spoons, it's like, and she was saying, my therapist that's also autistic, which I'm so glad to have, like she's had to learn that lesson, even if like there was a time her husband thought it was good to, you know, push her to do things or whatever, that when she was tired and she was at that limit, like now her husband or whatever people don't want her to go anywhere or do anything because they know that no one wants to see or be with you or know how to deal with you like when you're having a meltdown. And there are things that I knew that both our mental health and our physical health will pay a big expense by pushing ourselves when we feel too tired. And there was something recently where I was starting to feel really tired and burnt out, and then my stomach started to really hurt, which, you know, my therapist said that's sparks. That's not even, that's when it's beyond the alarm. Like you're already getting symptoms of things. And it was my grandma's funeral the next day, which I was going to have to drive 3 hours there and 3 hours back. And I knew that the entire experience and the 6 hours in a car was going to make my stomach and everything get way worse. So I had to make the decision to not go. And guess what? Even though I felt really bad, I made the right decision. I made the decision that my grandma would want for me, who cared about me and my health. Sometimes we have to say no, because when an autistic person starts to feel like I'm so tired, that is an alarm signal And if we don't go by it and say, I have to rest today, I actually can't do this thing, then we're gonna really cause issues to our physical and mental health. And I just knew when I said I'm tired that it was different than other people being tired. And so that's why I just wanted to share with, if you're autistic and you're finding this, like, I'm tired, and you're already starting to feel what that entails. Like for me, sometimes it'd be like, okay, I'm gonna get dressed and ready to go. And as I get up to try to get dressed, I feel like throwing something. Then I stop. Then I'm not going to whatever thing it is. If I feel like throwing something, that's a bad sign. That's like I am causing myself a meltdown right now by trying to get myself to do something right now. And I have to just rest.
Okay, I know this last one was really long, but I still wanted to include it because just yes. I know kind of recognizing it and accepting it is maybe really difficult, because chances are you've told people, oh, I'm really tired, and they're just like, yeah, it's fine, just have a coffee and push through or something. Because, well, if like neurotypical people are tired and they still do something, it's usually fine. Like, they might not be as focused as they could be, you know, or they can actually maybe like wake themselves up, because for them it's literally just they're tired. And while they're not going to be able to like perform their best, probably they're going to be fine, you know? And if you're like me and you actually struggle to rest, this might be even more difficult, because it's like, I can't sit still. I am very bad at just letting things rest and not doing them, or sitting somewhere, not doing the thing and feeling guilty about it. Those are the options. It's doing the thing or feeling guilty about it. And I've yet to break that. So then specifically, you're kind of very likely to try to push through anyways, because on one hand, you can just hear the people like, it's fine, you know, you just like have to like pull yourself together and do it. Like, it's okay if you're tired, but just like push through it. And then you're also just like sitting there feeling guilty if you don't. When in reality, like logically, I know that's not really how this works for my brain. And that if I am that tired or exhausted, that I have to rest and not do the things. Or like, especially if you're like going out to a place where you know you're gonna like have a meltdown so quickly because you know you can't focus, but you're trying to focus, or like a lot of times with like a lot of sensory input as well, you know it's just gonna make it worse. And chances are you've already had phases in your life, at least, where you've had a lot of like actual physical symptoms beyond that, like stomach pains or headaches and stuff like that, you know? So I guess just as a reminder that we can get better, because I'm really hoping I can get better at listening to it, you know? Anyways, this video is really long, but I guess it's just gonna be this long, because I don't feel really willing to cut too many of these videos out or postpone them further, because I had like some of these saved up from last time I did this. So it's just gonna be forever long. So I hope you're hydrated while you are watching this. If not, maybe go get like a snack or something to drink now. And I'll be back in a few days with my next video.